Let's turn it a little bit down. You probably know why they call this the balloon. Hi, it's Peter here. And before we talk more about this Surui A100B light, a disclaimer. Surui sent me this light with some accessories, but they did not tell me to do this video, nor do they see this before, and they have not told me what to say in this video. So everything that I say is based on my own opinion, using this light for a little while. I haven't had this for a long time, about a week. So this is just a first impression. I will be using this more and tell you more about it maybe in upcoming videos when I do some product shots and use this. However, I do have a link to Surui's web shop and a discount code for you to use. I will show the discount code later in this video. So be sure to watch it if you are interested in this pretty cool light. And before we look more into the light, let's see what's included in this well-made bag. And I appreciate when a light comes with a bag that everything fits in, because you wouldn't believe how many lights there are being sold that has just bag for the light and all the accessories. You need another bag. But in this particular bag, you have everything. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Of course, put that aside first. Of course, there is the light. And it's like this. And it is wrapped around this tube, which you should have all times, because when you put it back, you need to have it. Then there is the bracket clamp that you attach it to. We talk about the attachments a bit later. Then, of course, the power unit, which can be powered by AC or DC, and it uses a V-mount battery, and it has this nice handle here, so it's easy to put on the tripod. And then, of course, the cord. Let's put that over there, and all the cords over here. And then there is a small grab clamp that you can attach to the tripod and probably use it to hang this to the tripod. And then, as an extra accessory, they sent me the grid. And this is something that I will use a lot, because I want the light to be controlled. Without the grid, the light would be a bit more wider or spill a lot bigger area. We will look into that later in this video. But yes, like I said, it's really important to have a good bag. And now let's continue with other stuff. The light itself is a LED mat. It's right behind here. And this is filled with air, this soft box. And like I said, I have a grid for it, which I can put over here. I will show it to you later. You control this light with this control unit, which has, of course, a cord, which is pretty long, so that you can have it if the light is up there, and you can have it this on the table lower. It's easy to control, so you don't have to use the ladders or anything else if the light is up there. So I think this is a clever way, and it also makes this a lot lighter. If this would be attached to that light, it will be very heavy, even though this is not that heavy. And then there's a very good app that you can use this light with, and it works with other Surui lights too. But more about how to use it and the app a bit later. There are 3 ways to attach the light. You can use the stand bracket like I'm using now, or you can use the magnets in the back. And I think that's very clever to have magnets in the back, so you can stick it to any magnetic metal surface. As you see, it's not the strongest, so you have to really push it. Yeah, but it doesn't. All right, now it stays. So the magnet isn't the best. It could be a bit stronger, but it holds. But I had to do it a few times. Then there are some hooks here that you can hang it from somewhere. And that's a good thing that you have many different ways to attach the light. It makes it more versatile and more usable. And if you if there is no room for a stand or anything like that, then use the magnetic or hang it somewhere. But the bracket stand has one little fault. If you need to put the light like this, the regular stand or regular light stand will be in the way. But if you use a boom stand with it, then it's a more flexible way of turning the light. It's a lot better option to use it on a boom like I have it now. And as I said, Sirui sent me this grid also, and it's really easy to attach. You just have put these hooks in the back, and it fits perfectly. Of course, it's made for this, and let me see if I can find it. Yep, there it is, and then the fourth one. Oops. And as you see how good it is. Looks really good. And what's important about the grid is that it's a perfect square, and also that the depth is exactly the same as the width. Then it will give you the best light, because when I'm standing here I can't see the light part at all. I need to move here, then I can see that the light comes out. And I'll show you how this affects the light spill. Here you can see with the grid, and on the right side you can see without the grid. There's a different usage. I like to use the grid so that I can control the light, so that the light, like I have a grid over there with the big softbox, and what it does, it directs the lights to me and it won't bleed into the background. And the same thing here. But if I want more general light to light up bigger area, it's not only for the subject, then as a overall light I would take this off so that it would give more light. So that's why it is important to have the grid for those moments that you really need to direct the light and block it from going to the back too much. Now I have only this light on, and it's not the perfect direction, but I want you to see it a little bit better. That's why I have it like this. Now I have it on 54,000 kelvins, but it goes from 28,000, which is really a really warm light, all the way up to 85,000 kelvins, that is. It's a lot bluish light now. And I have my camera set to 54,000, so now it should be quite neutral. And then it has effects, 12 different effects. You press the M button, then you have this pulse, candlelight, then you have fire, fireworks, SOS. The best way to use this is the app. And here you can see how I use it with the app. You have the special effects here, and then you just choose which one you want. And that's fireworks. It doesn't have the RGB colors, so it would be a bit more versatile if this was an RGB light. And I hope they make one of the or RGB version of this. That would be perfect. And what I like about the app is that you have already here the percentage 25, 50, and 100. And then you have these kelvins right there, 6500, 56. And then you have the slider to go through the whole range. And then you can also turn the brightness manual if you want with the slider. So very, very versatile. And like I said, the app is a good one. If you have the lights up, then that one, the controller, you need to put somewhere a bit where you can control them. When you are behind the camera, you can control all the light and the if you have several of these or several Sirui lights, you can control them all with the one app, and that's really good. And well, I like this app. It's very easy to use and not very complicated. Really intuitive to use. You don't need a manual to use the app. It's easy to use, which I always appreciate, because if things are done a simple way and easier, it makes the life of a photographer and a videographer a lot easier and more convenient. I really value that a lot. Controller is really well made. I think it's plastic though, but it's really durable and it feels really premium. And I always like stuff that even though it's not the most expensive, they still look into the small details, because those things, if you have a plastic thing and doesn't feel premium, it's annoying in the long run. So always I appreciate when you have a good looking stuff. It kind of like tells that they are serious. But let's talk a bit more about the specs. The power at full power is in 1 meter. So it's powerful enough to do this type of shots and you know, kind of like interview type shots. That's something that this could be very good for. So I could use this as my main light for interviews and then have some kind of a hair light or a kick light in the back to separate from the background and to make the image look more cinematic, to have several lights. That's one use case that I could do. And then, of course, I could use this for product shots, to have it on a boom stand on top of a product like here, because it's really light and it's really easy to move. Putting a heavy light like this, you need really big tripods and really big counterweights. With this, you need a normal boom stand and some small counterweight just in case. The CRI is 96 and TCLI is 98. Unfortunately, I don't have any equipment to measure that, so we have to trust Suroi for that information. And I don't think they're lying. I think it is a good light, and you can see that it is quite easy to get a good skin color, because that's always the thing with LEDs, is the skin color, that you can get it the way you want, so that there are no really big color casts. And so far I haven't found any, but like I said, this is just my first review. So far, so good. And what's also good about this light is that it is quite quiet. There is a fan in this one, and now we will listen to this fan. It was recorded in my office because I can control the sound environment a lot better than here in the studio. There are a bit background noise in this particular space. Let's hear how quiet it is. And I have the microphone right next to the unit. Not bad at all. It won't ruin your audio, because this can be placed a lot further away from the light. Even if the light is so close, the sound is over there, way back, if I place this over there, so it won't ruin your audio. That's another good thing, to have a separate control unit. There are 3 reasons why I will consider getting another one, or maybe even 2, because the price isn't that bad. It's under 600 euros right now, and I think it's a good value for money. It's a lot of money, yes, but it's a good value for money for a very premium looking and feeling light. The 3 reasons is, the first one is the bag. Might sound a bit funny, but like I said on the unboxing part of this video, that there are so many lights sold that doesn't have a proper bag, and that's a drag if you need to have several bags to put all the accessories on another one. There's always the possibility to lose something, but if you have everything in one bag, it's perfect. And then the second thing is the build quality. It's very well made, and also the construction that you have. It's small to carry around, and it just put it in the bag and around the tube, and that's it. You're good to go. And then the grid is really high quality. Like I was talking about the qualities of the grid, that there are different ones and different types of grids that some might not be that good, but this one is a good one. And then the third one is the quality of light, the possibility to use different kelvins, so it's bicolor. That's one important thing, because when you go into a place where you can control the light, you might have some tungsten type lights. Then you can adjust this to match the lights around the place. In a studio, it doesn't really matter, because you can put this and then match the camera. Effects, yes, I might use them in some occasions, but that's not the reason that I would get this. I think those 3 reasons, and then, like I mentioned, the price isn't that bad. It's a lot of money, but it's not that bad if you really need a good light. So all in all, I think it's an interesting thing that Suroi has started making these quality lights. To be honest, I don't really know when they started making the lights. Do have the bendable LEDs, which I bought myself. I will make a video about those too. And here is the discount code that you might use if you want to purchase this light. And some other videos about photography also over there. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.